Okay, there we go. We're live. Let's see what's happening here. It's James speaking. It's Wednesday at 1 o'clock. We're going to do another live webcast just going over everything having to do with WordPress and getting a training site set up. So we're going to play around today. Just make sure I got everything on here possibly. Hey, we do. Perfect. That's the good part. We're live. We got some sound. What will I do? I'm going to keep the sound off there so it's not on. So here's what I want to do today. First of all, we'll go back and play around here with some of the video, back a little bit further. Okay, so here's what I want to do today. One of the things that I get asked all the time is I have an idea for a course. I heard about all this stuff about passive income and sell something once and everything turns out perfect. What do I need to do to get started? How do I create a course? Where do I sell it? How do I sell it? So there's all sorts of questions about that. So what I'm going to do is we'll actually have some fun with this. I'm actually going to spend some time and we'll ask ChatGPT what to do about it, and then I'll tell you if it's real or not real. So if you did take a look at the actual email that I sent out, let's go over here for a sec. If I look at the other email that I sent out, I'll just go to the calendar here. We'll take a look at some of the notes that I put in and I don't know, either get a kick out of it or more importantly, see if it's valid. Now, let me just put this in perspective. One of the things that you can download from me is called the Campus Blueprint, and it's really about 10 key steps that everyone has to go through if they are, in fact, going to be creating a campus, a training site, an e-learning site, an education business. There's a whole bunch of things you have to do, and I think there's 10 key sections that I have in the Campus Blueprint, but there's like 300 sub-points to it. And I break it down into 10 because it's really overwhelming if I just say, here's 300 things that you have to do. Now, the scary part is, and the part that's really, really sad, is there's actually more than 300 things to do. There's 1,000 things that you can do, but who knows if they're things that you should do. So if you haven't downloaded the blueprint, make sure and go do that. It's on the home page of, let me just show that. We'll go back to the site here so you can see it. It's on the main page that you can actually go and take a look at that and go. And I think actually if we scroll down to the bottom, it's there. Yeah, download the Campus Blueprint. It's right there at the bottom. So if you haven't already, just go and download it and you'll be able to get the map there and download the map. And I'd love to give it to you to answer a whole bunch of questions you may have and also bring up a whole bunch more questions that you're going to ask yourself. So here's the calendar again. Let's go take a look at what I put in the calendar, things I wanted to cover today. And I think it would be, I said we'd ask ChatGPT what it said about this. And we're going to do that. And I'm going to go over the answers that it gave because some of it is valid. Some of it is not necessarily valid. Some of it is applicable and some of it is just a pain in the ass to actually do it. So here's a question that had: build a WordPress site to sell courses. Some topics include pricing structure. How do I get WordPress set up? What do I need to do? What's the best way to market my courses? What technology should I use? What platform should I use? So there's a whole bunch of questions there, and we'll go over those ones as quickly as possible. And I'm going to go right through them. I'm not going to take my time talking about them. I want to make sure that that there is some speed there, and people are actually thinking about it, but also keeping an idea or putting stuff in perspective. So, okay, here we go. First thing, I'm a big fan of using WordPress and creating your training site or your e-learning site or your education business on your own platform. Now, you probably hear this term being bantied about called digital sovereignty or something like that. And really the whole gist is that in the last while, for all of the not WordPress, for all of the internet marketing world and software world, there's been this big movement to software as a service, or SaaS. And it's been no different in the whole education business, because there are a number of platforms where you can actually go and have your own training site, but it's hosted on someone else's servers, it's hosted on someone else's platform, and basically you rent space to add your content and have them distribute the content for you. So that's a software as a service, and we'll go over a couple of those ones. But my big thing here is that because I've used over the last 25 years so many different versions of software as a service, or downloaded and used software basically to have it disappear or go away when it was hosting or managing all of my sites, I'm of the firm belief that in the long term, your best bet is to own your own platform. So I'm a big fan of WordPress. It's not the only way to go, but it's the way we're going to spend some time with it today. So the first thing I want to do is I just want to show you how easy it is to actually create a website today. Now, I have some of my customers that we have our own servers that we host on. I have some other customers who want to be a little more hands-on for themselves. So we use services, for example, like SiteGround, and I'll put the link to our SiteGround version, or our agency platform is SiteGround, and that is a hosting company. Now, when I say software as a service, the one thing I do recommend is that you do pick a good hosting service, because that is the kind of infrastructure that is not easily handled on your own. And there are a number of platforms, it's mature enough now that you can actually use it and be as hands-on or hands-off as you want. And that industry is very mature and very solid, and it takes too much effort technically to actually do it yourself. So hosting is one of the things I say, yes, it's a service, go ahead and use it. Our agency part of our business, we actually have lease our own servers at a data center that we use for hosting our customers. So technically that is a software as a service that we're using, but it's the only one that I recommend, along with one other one that I'll share with you a little bit later. But I wanted to say, when I first started, when you wanted to install WordPress or get started with WordPress, you had to do a whole bunch of things. And I'm talking about getting your hosting account set up to actually host the actual software, the WordPress software. You had to have a domain registered, and you actually had to go and install the software. You had to create a database, usernames and passwords, all this FTP stuff. It was really, really, really cumbersome. Now, the interesting thing is now is that if you go and you want to do it yourself, I'll just open up, for example, a site here like on SiteGround. This is a hosting service. There's all sorts of them available to you. On this particular one, as an example, I just open it up, and at any time I'm logged in here. If I want to, all that I can do is click websites. You can see here it says websites. I'm going to click manage, and all I need to do is say new website, and I'm going to do a temporary domain. It's going to give me a temporary name. This is called a staging site. I'm going to click continue. Start a new website, select. Here's what it says: WordPress, and WooCommerce or Weebly Site Builder. I want a WooCommerce site because I want to make sure that I can put my courses on my WordPress site, and I want to be able to take payments. So all I'm going to do is click select, put myself a little name in here. So I'm going to put my name, and I'm just going to put a password in here, and we'll just copy it for now so that I have it, and I'm going to click continue. So what's happening in the background here is I am automatically getting a website created with WordPress and WooCommerce set up. So in terms of getting a membership site set up and or a platform to sell your courses, it's basically done. We didn't have to muck around with anything, but it's all there, it's all set, it's ready to go. And what I'm going to do is, just to be safe, I'm going to go and we'll do, let's do a new document. I'm just going to do a new one here. We're going to file new document, and I'm just going to open this one up, and I'm just going to put I'm going to delete this after, so I'll just set it so I make sure I have the username and password for my staging site that's working in the background. So that's being set up, that's being created, and it should be ready shortly. So I got my site set up. What else do I need to do to be able to sell some courses and create a training site? Well, there's two things that we really need right now. The first one is that we have WooCommerce, which is a shopping cart installed and set up. But on the other hand, what we're missing is a way to take payment. So there's two things that you can do. The only one that I think you really need to do, and this is the one that is another service, and that one is you need to go to stripe.com and you need to go and open up a Stripe account. And what this is this is a payment gateway that works with WordPress and WooCommerce, and it allows you to take payments. So it processes the actual transaction. Someone's going to be able to put a credit card details in on your site in your shopping cart when they want to purchase a course or access to a course. And what happens is WooCommerce says, hey, Stripe, charge their credit card, do it successfully, take the credit card payment, and then give me the money from the credit card transaction, except for a little tiny portion or percentage. And I believe right now it's like 2.7 or 2.9%. So if someone spends $100 with you, Stripe keeps $2.99 or 97 cents. You have the rest of it. It gets directly back into your banking account. So two services you need. One is hosting, one is a payment gateway. Everything else we're doing live and in WordPress. So we got it set up. We got a way to host our courses, and we got a way to get paid for our courses and a shopping cart. Now let's go take a look and see if our website's set up yet. And access WooCommerce admin, view your site. I can go to the site or I can log in as admin. Let's go log in as an admin. And we're in a staging site right here. We're ready to go. Site can't be reached. Let's see if it can now. Hey, there we go. I don't want to do the wizard. So it gives you a quick starter to go through. I'm not going to do that right now, but we basically got the SiteGround set up to be able to take payments and all that great stuff. Now SiteGround puts in some other stuff we don't need. That's another call that we can go through to do that. But the one thing that we do need is I'm going to go to plugins here. We'll just take a look at the plugins that get started to set up with, and I don't want some of them, so I'm just going to get rid of them except for WooCommerce. Just get rid of them. And again, these are the not dummy ones. These are services that SiteGround, the hosting company, tries to sell you to do it. And I'm going to delete them completely so they're hidden and you don't see them. I'm going to get rid of them there. So I got my site, I got my shopping cart. What else do I need? I need to be able to take those payment gateways. So I'm just going to click Add New Plugin. And I'm just going to say Stripe, and let's see what comes up. So this gives me the ability to take payments, and you'll see there's one that's right here, and there's this one from WooCommerce directly with 800,000 installs. There's another one here from Payment Plugins for Stripe, which is another one for a paid service here, and then Stripe Payments for WooCommerce. There's a couple other ones here. So the bottom line is you got to pick one. If you're feeling really safe, you want to go ahead and pick this one. And I'll do that right now just because it's the easy one to do so that you can see it. It's installed and I want to click activate. So now I'm set up with a shopping cart and a way to take payments. And you do have to set up some settings in Stripe. And again, that is just connecting your Stripe account that you went and signed up for and your WordPress site where you're going to be selling the courses. So that's not something we're covering today, but again, we're set up. If the keys were in here for Stripe, we'd be able to take some payments. Bottom line is we got a shopping cart and we got the ability to host the site. So what's next? Well, let's go back and take a look at my quick little email that we had sent here. The one that I had talked about for training, and I was talking about, let's go back to the calendar. This is our training site here at trainingsites.io, You're obviously welcome to go and sign up there. It's free to go and join. So I'm looking here, and it says, one of the ones here, what technology and platform should I use? That's what we're talking about right now. So I'm here and I'm saying, okay, what do we need now? I got the technology and a platform. What's the other part we need? Well, we need to be able to organize our courses, right? So here are the choices that I recommend for taking care of your courses. So what I'm going to do is we'll just go over, and where will we go? Let me just go over here. I'm just going to go over on another page here. There we go. We'll go to this one here. So what I'm doing is I'm just on another page here. We'll take a look at this one. This is in fact a way to take some payments online. And what are they? Let me just take a look here. So this is my site, and then I have some other tabs open here. There are 3 plugins for your site, and those plugins are called LMS plugins. And if you haven't heard of the term LMS before, it's Learning Management Software or Learning Management System. I'm not really sure which one it is, but that particular one is a plugin for WordPress, and what it allows you to do is create courses on. You can put or add your courses to that plugin, and that plugin allows you to have the courses be displayed in separate lessons and topics, do things like quizzes, and organize people's path or a journey through the lessons of your course. So there's 3 that I recommend, 3 that I talk about on a regular basis. 2 of them have free versions, 1 of them does not. All 3 of them have paid versions, and some of them are limited or not limited to what they can do and what they can't do. So let's go take a look at them and see which ones they have right now. The first one is the one that I use on a regular basis. This one is called LearnDash. Right now it's looking like it's $199 a year for a single site, and if you have more than one site, there's some other available to you. But the LearnDash plugin is, and I put the links below here for you in the description so that they're available for you. But that LearnDash plugin, that one is all about, in this particular case, that one is all about having a way to have assignments. As an example, you can have quizzes, you can have points, you can have filters, and it's all about making sure that people take actual courses, go through them. And let me just see if we have one here as an example. Let me just open one here just so you can see it. So here's an example. I'll go to one of the courses here in our library so you can take a look at it. This is a mini course just so that you see how it works. And this particular mini course is, let's do this one. 3 types of course sales pages. So here's a little mini course, 10 lessons on how to create sales pages for your course. I've got a course description that's here. And if you look down, you can see that we've got a whole bunch of this course has these lessons. Lesson has 3 topics, and you can see that we have a complete excuse me, section through there. So you got a tickle in my throat. 6 topics, 10 lessons, and a course certificate, and some quizzes. So this is a way to have a course on your site. This one's called LearnDash. Now, the other one that I recommend is one called Lifter LMS, and that's another one that is a good program. That one has a free version. So launch your course site in minutes, and again, it's just putting on a plugin that's free, and you can actually have it, and it does the similar things to LearnDash. Now, the part that's interesting with this one is this has a free version, but in this particular case, it uses what's called add-ons. And the add-ons are things, for example, where you want to put a bundle, or sorry, you have pilots, advanced quizzes, you want to add assignments, you want to be able to use a different kind of video setup or groups or cohorts, private areas, custom fields. So these are all add-ons that they have that are over and above the free version. So that's Lifter. And then there's another one that will go at the top here. This one's called Tutor LMS. And Tutor LMS is actually by a company that started off building themes, but they've got a really nice LMS that's available as well with a free version. And they have some live demos, and it does pretty much the same thing. Looks a little bit different. The one thing that I do like with this one called Tutor LMS is it allows you easily to create the kind of system where you have multiple instructors selling their own courses, which is something that the other ones require a whole bunch of extra, not a whole bunch, they require some extra work to get those to work properly. Okay, so you got 3 different programs or 3 different ways that you can do that. And what they're doing is basically they allow you to create a set of courses just like we have here in the library, where we got a ton of courses, all sorts of stuff that you could look through and go through there. Let me just open up one mastery course just to see a big course. Here's the campus mastery course. I'll open that one. You can see we've got, in this case, there's 8 lessons and 44 topics. So this one is a big course. You can't just have a blog post with some, some blogs in order of a category. This is a good way to actually go through, take a look at stuff, and see and actually get quizzed on it so that you understand what's happening and what's not happening. And you can see we've got, lesson content, the steps, and these can force you in sequence. There's all sorts of options available to make sure that the people who are taking it are accountable and actually going through the course, completing the lessons, the modules, the quizzes, the assignments, and making sure that everyone is actually doing what they're supposed to be doing. Okay, so these are the things that we have to think about. These are the things that are important as we're doing all of this, is we want to make sure we've got a platform to do it. So now we do. How do we add it? Well, let's go back to our SiteGround site, and let me see if we can go to, we'll open one up here. I don't know if I can do that. There we go. We'll go back here. So I'm back on my site here, and on this particular site, let me just go and, actually let me go to another window here. There, we'll go to this one here. This one, going back to the site here, what I need to do is I need to go and add some plugins, right? So let me see, it's not being reached again. That's not the one I want. Let's go to this one. Where'd we go? SiteGround, come on. Where'd that one open up? Did it open up here? Heaven forbid, we lost the site. So let's go back to this one again. Where did it open? There we go. Okay, we're back here at our site. Sorry about that. Go back to the dashboard. This is the test one that we created. And I'm logged in as the administrator, so I'm just going to go to the dashboard here. So we're looking at it again. Let me just dismiss some of the stuff that we got set up here. But what we need to do is we need an LMS, right? So let's go to plugins. I'm going to do installed plugins, and I'm going to do a search for, add new plugin. I'm going to do a search for, let's do LMS and see what's available for us. Tutor LMS. There's one called Sensei, Master Study, Tutor LMS, LearnPress, Mysterio, Namaste, Lifter LMS. So we've actually got 2 of them that are there right now. So let's go and install. Let's do this one just for fun. So we now have a place for our courses, a place to take payments, and more importantly, a place to host it. So in terms of technology, that is basically all that you need to get started. Now, a lot of people go and they say, oh man, I want to get involved in all of this different stuff that has the way my courses look, all these different pieces, that kind of stuff. You don't have to start with that. Of course, it makes a big difference in how your courses sell and they get presented. But in terms of the technology and the platform, that's all you need to do. It takes a couple minutes to get these plugins installed, and then it's a question of getting your course content in and making sure that you have that connection between the payment gateway, Stripe, and your shopping cart, so that if you set a price for a course, people can select the course to purchase, put their credit card details in, and get access to the course, which are all things that we cover in the courses on trainingsites.io. But I wanted to show you from the infrastructure, pretty straightforward, easy to go. Now the question comes up, and I get asked, it says, well, do I really need to do it this way? I do want to do the software as a service. Well, if you do want to do it that way, you can go to sites, for example, like Thinkific. Now, this is a software as a service. I'll just open this one up here. I'll go to the original one, not the landing page one. Okay. Barely hear me today. Okay, let's go see. Can I do the volume louder? Let's try this and find out. I'm going to go and...
Is that any better?
Let me see. I don't know if I can do that. Let me just check. I was just checking on the... I'm going to go and check on another place here. Pardon me for looking to the side for a moment. Just make sure that I've actually got the sound working properly. Let me go. Where's my input? Mike. Comica. It says I'm there, so let me see. We'll just see if I can...
Hello, hello, hello.
Hopefully that's better. I'll speak louder too. The other thing I can do is actually, if it's not too loud, let me do this instead. I'm going to go and I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to change the microphone for you, just so hopefully you'll be able to hear it a little bit better. Let's do microphone. There we go. Let's see if that works better. Hopefully that works better. Don't know why that one was down today. I'll use the one that's in the webcam. Hopefully you can use that. So what was I saying? Thinkific. You can also use a third-party platform. This is one here right now, for example. And because this is a software as a service, what that means to you is you don't have to worry about creating a site for it. All you got to do is, if you've got course content, you've got to go and add it to the platform Thinkific, and it takes care of everything else. Now, here's why I don't recommend it personally. And again, this is personal preference. In the long term, this has worked better for me. And I've talked about this in other sessions. There's this whole issue with stuff changing over time, and stuff that's as a service ends up that doesn't work for your business model as you're moving forward. So it can be kind of tough if you get into a long-term relationship or commitment with software as a service, because as you get more involved in it, it's very difficult to remove yourself from it, to have control and content of your customer database, your content that you've put in, the way it's organized, all of the relationships and stuff that you built with links on your website. It's just, you can't get half pregnant if you're going to use a third-party service. So you can do it. If you just want to stay away from WordPress, you can do it. The one thing that I'm going to say just in the back of my head that I know gets cumbersome is, because it is a platform that is external to your business, there is always more than meets the eye. And I'll give you an example. If you're using help desk software, how do you connect it to this software as a service? And are you limited as to which ones you can do? If you're using email marketing software, email automation software on your WordPress site, how do you connect it to Thinkific? How do you integrate it so that you know when someone takes a course, they should get this personalized email? Someone graduates or gets a certificate, there's no connection there. What about if you're using a CRM, or you have other products and services that you sell? If you have a service like we do as an agency, I'm going to have someone buying stuff in Thinkific for my courses, but I'm going to have someone buying something else from another system on another website for my agency business or another service. So that's why I don't do it personally. If you just want to stay away from WordPress and do it here, you can use a tool like Thinkific. And there's some other whole business systems that allow you to kind of sell courses and do the CRM and do the support. But again, it's on their platform. You're renting space from it. One of the ones that comes to mind is one called Kajabi, which I have some people use and quite like. So I'll open that one up just so you can see it. But that is a complete platform, all-in-one platform that does just that. It takes your entire business. Let me just make sure we got that one open. That's one that, people just say, hey, I want it done. I don't want to muck around with it. And you can see, for example, they've got a place to do online courses, memberships, communities, coaching, and podcasts. All great stuff that I recommend you do, and we'll talk about in a minute. But at the end of the day, you're renting space from someone, and there's always something that you want to do that you can't do on this platform, and there's no opportunities to do it because you're in a closed platform. Okay? So, having said that, great system if you just want to be hands-off, all the technology stuff. If you want to be hands-off, all the technology stuff, and still use WordPress, that's what we do on the agency side of our business on trainingsites.io, is we basically implement everything that we're going to talk about there. So, got the platform set up. What's next? And let's take a look at how long I've been talking. Holy mackerel, 30 minutes already. So let me go to the website here. I'm just going to go back to the calendar. We'll take a look at some of the pieces I said I was going to cover. Pricing structure for the membership site. What content should I include? How do I market it? Sorry, I got a little bit of a tickle in my throat. I'm going to talk about content right now, and we'll take a look at a course. And I want to share with you some of the things about content and courses, and we'll just talk about that briefly because I think it's important. So let's go back to the library here. I'm going to take a look at a course, and in the course, we'll see what's there. So let's go and we'll do Campus Mastery. I'll open that one up, and we'll go in it. And this particular one, we've got the description that's here, but if I go and open up one of these lessons, for example, just so that you can see it, you're going to see in this particular case, I've just got the lessons right here, and I go right into the lessons. And in the lessons, if you look at it, and let's see if we can pick up another one here that's on here that allows me to access it. Let me pick another one because, of course, it doesn't show up on this one because I'm not logged in with correct access to it. So let's try this one. Let's do a tour of the campus just so that you can see it. Okay, so here's an example of one where we have a video and we have some text, and these are the additional lessons that are here. So in this particular case, the content that we have is we have written text, we have video, we have audio with the video, we also can have handouts. So there's a whole bunch of different learning modalities or ways that you can put content into your courses. Now, the thing that's interesting is that since ChatGPT came out, there's two kinds of courses that we're seeing kind of split off into some different areas. And I want to talk about these briefly because it's important. Here's the two kinds of courses. You have a content course, which is basically information that's available everywhere, and often it's generated by ChatGPT. It's just organized in a systematic way, usually based on the instructor's experience. So those are content courses. And the purpose of a content course is to just do that, do a content dump around a process or a series of informational pieces that give you a knowledge or a background or some insight on something that I, as the instructor, am an expert on, and something that you want to know so that you can implement. And that's the key word, implement. So a content course isn't around actually implementing it. The content course is just around you understanding what you're supposed to implement. So a lot of content courses. There's going to be tons of content courses. Those courses are going to be in this format where you're going to have a video, you're going to have some written text, you might have an audio recording, a PowerPoint slide, but it's going to be in the three modalities, right? You're going to have audio, you're going to have visual, and you're going to have text. Interesting thing is, even though you have text, you read to yourself, and text is an audio type of learning. It's really only two, the visual and audio, because people are lazy when they read. They don't speed read, they read it out loud to themselves and listen to what they're saying. So content courses, that's the kind of content you'll have. The other thing you might find in a content course is you may have the quiz. A quiz is just to say, hey, I remember something that I consumed earlier. But that content course isn't about implementing anything. And it's not necessarily about keeping someone accountable, so what it is that they're learning, because it's generated to an outcome. And if you are generating an outcome or promising an outcome, that's a second kind of course where you're actually teaching someone to implement the information that they've been given. And you're using that learning management system or plugin to do that. But in that particular case, that's implementing the content towards a promised outcome, which is really, really different kind of course. And that kind of course has things like quizzes and assignments, and it's more inclined to be something called blended learning. Now, if you're asking, what do I need to put in my course? A content course, it's content. A course that is a real course is what I'm going to call it right now, has the content plus the way to keep you accountable. And more importantly, it is, in my opinion, is going to be the course that has blended learning, that includes live classes that allow you to get clarification and implement what you've learned with the help of the coach or the teacher, the person that's helping you out, the instructor. So 2 kinds of courses. What kind of content should you put? First of all, you got to understand, what kind of course am I selling? Is the course that I'm selling a content course, or am I selling an implementation course? If I'm going to sell an implementation course, how am I going to include blended or live instruction in with it so the content and me as the instructor are there? And that's the real value in the kind of courses that I think are coming up now. So if I take a look at some of the courses here, in this particular case, if I look at some of the libraries there, just ones, it's like, how do I use WordPress? WordPress. How do I create a custom thank you page? This tells you how to do it. This, particular lesson and topics that may be 10 minutes long and maybe 30 minutes long. At the end of the day, it tells you how to do it, but it doesn't do it with you. And there's not an instructor there to answer questions when you go, well, I want to do it this way. You didn't cover that content in the course. What about in my unique situation? How do I implement it? Okay, so understand, first of all, what kind of content am I doing? The big question is, what kind of course do I need for the content I want to share and the promises I'm making on what the outcome is and how it needs to be implemented? Okay, so that's the kind of content that you need. You need the right content for the right promise, the right implementation, and the right outcome that you're promising. Okay, so we've got a platform. Hopefully you understand a little bit about the courses and the types of content you're going to be adding for your courses. Let me just talk, let me do this one. Let's do this one here. Pricing structure. Pricing structure for a membership site. Here's really, really interesting question, and it's one of the ones that I cover in the Campus Blueprint and that whole marketing map. There are 3 kind of key ways of, not key ways, there's 3 accepted or generally applied ways of doing this thing when you've got, when you've set up and you're taking payments online for your courses. There's 3 kind of different ways of doing it, and I'll explain them, and then we'll show you a couple variations of it. The first one is as an example, if you've got a course or multiple courses, one of the things that you can do is you can just say, hey, you want to purchase this course, you have to pay me this money. If you pay me this money, you will have access to the course. So it's a single payment. That's one way to charge for a course. The second way to charge for a course is if you say, my business model is that I want you to purchase the course and I will give access to it for a year. And at the end of that year, you no longer have access to the course. You have it just for that set period of time. So maybe it's a year, maybe it's 3 months, maybe it's 6 months, but it's a single purchase, single course, but for a set time frame. Okay. The other way that you might want to do it, and this happens when you have multiple courses that you're starting to go, okay, I got a whole bunch of different courses. What can I do with those courses? Well, you can apply that one price access to the course, or you can start to do something called a bundle. And you can say, this one course is this much money, but you say, you know what? I have 3 courses in total. If you want to buy all 3, I'll charge you one price and give you access to all 3. So that's a different way to go ahead and charge some money for it. On the other hand, you may want to say, you know what? I got 3 courses now. I'll give you access to all of them, but I'd like a little bit of money each month. So instead of paying for all the courses, just give me a portion of money. And what I'll do is I'll give you access to the courses. If I'm going to charge you monthly, when you stop paying, you don't get access anymore. As long as you're paying, you get access. And you can do that for a year, a month. You can even do what's called a lifetime subscription, which is exactly the same thing. They make one payment, they get access to everything, and they even get the updates that happen during that period of time. So these are the kind of bundles that you can use, and it's really up to your business model and the goals on how you decide on what you want to apply there. So let me take a look here. I just want to go, it's funny because I'm just going to look quickly at what ChatGPT said that you should be doing for that one. Let me open that one up here. There we go. So let's go on here. That's not the one I wanted. So let me see if it's here. I'm going to open it up on the page here, and we'll see if I can. It's kind of neat here. I have. I'm going to show you. I have. Hopefully you can see this. Yeah. So I got an iPad here. That's here. I have a monitor in front of me. I have another monitor over here, which is the same PC, and I actually have a MacBook Air over here. And the one thing that gets me freaked out sometimes is I have one mouse, but that mouse is connected to all of the different platforms. So sometimes the mouse gets lost where I'm moving it around here on the main page. Let me just see if I can go to the main page here. Moving around here on the main page, but if I move it off to the side, it goes to one monitor. If I keep on moving, it goes to my notebook. And if I keep on moving, it ends up here on the iPad. Then I have to go back and move it back and say, oh, where the heck am I? So let's go find out where I am. I'm just going to open up some of the ones that we had here. Come on. I'm just going to go and see if I can get one of these ones open here. Just looking for the document that I created. And of course I can't find it. So unfortunately, let's go back. We'll take a look at ChatGPT and see what it says on the actual desktop. Okay, so here's one that, here's what ChatGPT said. I copied it and put it on a document, but it didn't show up because I misplaced the document. Okay, so here's what they said about pricing structure for your member and traineeship site. Understanding your audience, whether it's affordable, analyze your content and services, different pricing models, tiered membership, flat rate memberships, a freemium model, pay-per-view with some of the other ones, bundles and packages. Now, one of the ones that I didn't include here, and I actually did a course on it, which was one that is kind of interesting, but it's a combination of what we're talking about, is if I go back and I take a look at one of these sites here, or one of the courses that I have, and we'll look at one of the courses, and this is something you can do when you have multiple courses, and this one's called How to Earn Money Giving Away Courses. And this is one of the things we do here on the trainingsites.io platform, is that I actually give away a course. So the course is free, means it doesn't have any cost. However, you need to register as a user in order to access it. So technically what's happening is I'm buying your email address in exchange for the course. You are paying your email address. You're not paying me money, you're paying me your email address so I can continue to market to you all of the other courses, services, and stuff that I have in the background. So that's kind of the neat way for membership / course sites, I think, is that when you get into this whole thing with how do I price my membership or price my courses, don't think of a single course. I don't think you're going to be able to make it if you're just selling a single course. I think that's an old business model, and if anyone tells you to create a course and you're going to earn money at it, they're lying to you. You're not going to create a course, you're going to create courses. The other thing is you're going to have to build a community where you have all sorts of people interacting with you, your information, your courses, what it is you believe, what it is that you're excited about, what you're passionate about, like training your membership sites and creating courses. But it's a whole infrastructure of stuff. It's not just a course. Okay? So giving away courses, making sure that you've decided in your business model, am I going to sell individual courses and or bundled courses? Am I going to sell one-time purchases, subscription purchases, or a combination of all of it? Play around with it, see which one works best for you. They're all available to you. ChatGPT gave me all of these weird answers on stuff. I really don't think that there's value in there except this one right here. Feedback and adjustments. If you are going to be charging money for courses and you're just starting out, I have no idea what the price is that you should charge. There's 1,001 different ways to evaluate that. And again, it has to do with some of the things they talked about at the start, for example, analyze your content and services, understand your audience. So who are you helping? The question that they're asking that you are providing the answer to, how much value is there? How much other products and services do you have? Is the course part of that experience funnel or part of that income path or stream for you and your business? So you have to think about positioning that. There's just a lot of questions there. And at the end of the day, you're going to have to try stuff. You're going to have to get some feedback from people and make adjustments over time and find out what you want. The one thing that is interesting, I think, now is that this whole issue of transparency. And what I'm talking about there is explain to people in the community that they are getting a certain amount of content and value based on the price that you're charging them. And this is something that gets into the whole idea of levels of membership or levels of customer after. And I'll give you an example. If you have beta testers who are testing something out ahead of time, there's a different value proposition for someone who's giving you feedback. On the other hand, if you have customers who are paying for extra services or perhaps have been long-term customers, you may be a VIP kind of level or VIP service, right? Completely different and a different way of looking at things. So these are kind of the things you have to muck around with and play around with when it comes to pricing. At the end of the day, just be upfront with people and get feedback and make adjustments on time that fits your business and your goals and objectives for the business. And the interesting thing that when I look back at my campus blueprint, the very, very first thing is, what are the goals and objectives for your business? And you got to start with that, and all of the feedback goes down or back to that one particular piece, which I think is the important part at the end of the day is how am I going to make sure that this all fits in and it gets to the point where it's making sense to my customers. So let's go back to our calendar, take a look at some of the other questions we have. I've been blabbing here for 50 minutes already. Technology, effectively market the membership site of the courses. How do I measure my success? Let's go back and take a look at that one, because that one's interesting in terms of what ChatGPT said. So let's go take a look at that one. I'll take a look back at this one. Let's see what they said about how to measure it. Content marketing. We'll come back to that one. Here's some of the metrics that they came up with. And this has to do with the goals and the outcomes that you want for your business and picking the business model that supports these goals. So ChatGPT said we've got membership growth rate. So how many new members are joining over time? Now this is for a subscription model or a membership model, but when you're doing a course, and if you're selling a course, you have to go and say, okay, how many courses am I selling over time? Is that something that I'm having a steady number of sales per month, per day, per week, per year? Or is it something that I want to grow over time? Churn rate. If you're looking at a membership site where you're looking saying, okay, I'm getting a monthly subscription, you want to take a look and say, if someone is a subscriber in a year, how many people are staying for the whole year? How many people are only staying for 2 months? What percentage of people are staying for 6 months? And you want to manage that rate or churn rate of how quickly people are coming into the subscription and keeping or canceling the subscription. because when you look at churn, if you add 100 people every month, but 75 people cancel at the end of the month, you've only added 25 people. So even though you think you've added 100 people, 75 left. So you've only actually added 25. And if you start measuring that over a period of months or semi-annual or annually, you're going to find that your churn rate, you want to make sure you minimize your churn rate, so that if you add 100 people this month and you get 75 that stay, next month you add another 100 people, you say, okay, I want to make sure that I at least get 75, so that you have 150 paying customers, even though you made 200 sales. And you want to minimize the churn rate and maximize the growth rate. Engagement metrics. This one's kind of neat. ChatGPT has this on the ball here, is that it's one thing to get someone to enroll in a course. It's a completely different thing to get someone to complete the course and implement what's in the course. So there's all sorts of strategies in terms of engagement, making sure that people, take the lessons or the modules or topics in order, that they have quizzes they have to complete. But you have to have a way to either be personally involved with them or automate the interactions that your system or your email or your messaging has with them to entice them or encourage them to actually go through and complete the courses. If you sell courses and no one completes them, which is the biggest problem in most courses right now, I've seen statistics that are as low as like 1 in 10 actually finish a course they sign up for. Now, one of the things I'll touch on just with this for a second is that the interesting thing about blended learning is just that. Blended learning has a far greater chance of someone being engaged and, more importantly, completing a course, as opposed to just a content course or a content dump. Okay, so you want to keep track of the metrics of what's going on there. Conversion rate. So these are ones where I did my free course. How many people from my free course are actually going to the paid course? If I'm doing some kind of offer or something that I'm sending emails or doing social media posts for, how much do I need to do? How many people are being engaged with the emails or the series or any marketing I'm doing? How many people are going through with that? Another one is average revenue per user. This is a great one because if you have more than courses in your business model, whether it's services, whether it's live one-on-one coaching, whether it's cohort training where you have groups of people go together, take a look and say, average customer that starts in the course, how much am I earning from them? Where should I be spending my time and energy when I look at average revenue per user? Okay, course completion rates, member lifetime value, customer acquisition costs. So how much does it cost to get someone started in a course versus how much they're paying to access the course? You want to make sure that you earn more money than it costs to get someone involved. Feedback and satisfaction score, referral rates, traffic sources, bounce rates. All of these ones are good ones, and I'll put them in the bottom in the description. Actually, they'll be in the training site. I'll make sure that these get updated on one of the blog posts that's here. A lot of great stuff in here. The one thing that I will kind of touch on is things like bounces, email open click-through rates, traffic sources, feedback satisfaction scores. A lot of these can be automated. And I'll give you an example is if we go back and we look at feedback and satisfaction scores, these are all things that we set up in our email marketing automations based on someone's journey or path through the course, right? We find out they start getting, after a set period of time or a set number of lessons or modules that they've completed, we know, give me some feedback. We know, do a questionnaire that says, hey, what's your satisfaction level? We can automate that. So it's not just us having to ask, it's more importantly, our email marketing systems and automations being able to do that and keeping track of all of these stats for us. So pretty interesting stuff that can be done and automated, and ChatGPT, yeah, it got that stuff right in this particular case. Okay, what's the other one I want to talk about here? Let's do this one quickly. I know we're going long on time, having fun with this. How do I market my membership site? This is the toughest one, and the reason it's really tough is because it's hard. If someone tells you that you're going to earn money overnight by selling a course, they're lying to you. Do some people earn some money when they start with a course? Yes, they do. And in general, they're selling to people who already know, like, and trust them. And it's that first grouping of people that end up buying the course because they've already done business with you in the past. But if you're talking to cold people who don't know you, who don't know what it is that you do and have experience with you, whether it be from third-party referrals or stuff that you've done yourself in terms of content marketing and getting out there with any of the marketing that you're doing, at the end of the day, you're going to have to work really, really hard at it and continue to refine it. So let's look and see what ChatGPT said on this. And they're all pretty straightforward. The thing is, they won't get implemented. You don't have time, energy, and a lot of times it takes some technology to do this. So let's go down and take a look at some of the things that we have here in terms of how do I market some of this. Let's do this one. Okay, here's some of the ones that they're talking about. How do you market it? Define your unique value proposition. This is one that we do with something called a topical authority map, which I've covered in a couple other sessions, and I'll do another time. But what's traditionally called a unique value proposition is to be able to quickly articulate what the question is, or the big question, or the big problem that you answer for your potential market. So if someone wants to learn how to sell and create and build a site to create courses, that's a value proposition. If you are able to show people how to barbecue properly, that's a value proposition. That is something that you can hang your hat on. And if someone wants to be a better barbecue, if someone wants to be able to create and sell courses, you have to be able to have that set up before you and be able to articulate it quickly. So that's the very, very first thing to do it. We've got a whole bunch of courses on that in terms of using some language about what it is you do, what the problem is they have, and or who it's for, and what problem they have, and what the solution is. So again, check out some of the other videos where we cover that in detail. Here's the two things that I think three things actually that are really, really important. And these are ones that are generic, but a lot of people have trouble implementing because they just don't have time to do it. First thing is you're going to have to do content marketing. Great thing is content marketing is automated now in terms of creating the content. The problem is that the content is lazy generated content from things like ChatGPT, where it's not structured in a way that makes it stand out or add personal value or context to what it is that you're publishing. It's just like spitting out or regurgitating ChatGPT stuff. Like if I just take this listing that we're looking at right now and say, oh, I'm going to put that out as a post, anyone else and their uncle can do that. However, if I go through this and I generate this and then I say, you know what, only spend time on number 2, 3, and 4 or 5 because those are the important ones, and add context to it. Or when does content marketing work well? What content should I add? So you have to be able to create content that makes sense to the value proposition you're promising and what it is, the outcome you're promising, but be able to put your own flavor on it and your own context. So you're going to be able to do that. Content marketing, social media, you have to do it. That's a service that we provide. Actually, content marketing is a service we provide. On the agency side, social media posting is another service. You're going to have to be able to post to all of the appropriate platforms for your value proposition. I'll give you an example. If you're teaching people how to do crochet or knitting, for example, you're probably better off on Instagram and Facebook than you are on LinkedIn, which is a business platform. So that's might be a bad example, but you get the gist. You have to make sure that the social media content that you have is being put on social media platforms that are ones that are appropriate for the users you want to be able to touch and influence with your social media. Email marketing. Yes, absolutely. You got to do email marketing, outbound outreach email, but also automated, personalized messaging to people who are in your marketing system. So it's all about a newsletter. Yeah, that's fine. But there's a whole series of additional things that you can do with email, and those are ones that we cover in the Email Marketing Mastery course. There's tons of automations, and remember, an automation, when it's done properly, is an automation of one. What that means is that when we have the email going out, it's not a broadcast to everyone. It's an automated, one-to-one, personalized message that is in context to where I am in your business. So, did I just finish a course? Have I not taken a course? Have I finished one course? Should I be taking a second one? Should I be getting some help in an area based on the actions, activities that I've done within the course or with other emails for you? So these are some other ones where we talk about freemium model, free trial. That's how to give away a free course. Works really, really well. So spend time with that one. Affiliate and referral programs. Yeah, no brainer. If someone likes your courses, you've done feedback, satisfaction, hey, ask them to refer some people and pay them a little bit of money. That's something we do here at training sites. Going to for a referral program, you tell someone about it, they come and purchase a course or a membership, and you get rewarded for that in terms of a little bit of money. Host webinars, live events. That's what we're doing right now. Partner with other businesses, video marketing, discounts and offers, community building, whole other issue, performance, testimonials, and continuous improvement. These are all things that you're going to have to do. These are all things that you won't do except for a limited number of them because you don't have the time and it takes a lot of work. At the end of the day, you've got to pick a couple of them at least. The ones that I always recommend are the first 3 or first 4. Make sure that you have a big fat claim that you're going to make. Got content to market and distribute to all sorts of different places. And SEO, for example, is another important one when it's content generated users, social media, email marketing, and the freemium. First 5 ones that you'll have to spend time with. And start with one. Start with number 1. Go to number 2. Go to number 3. Go to number 4. Do them in order, but at least get into the habit of doing them on a regular basis and see which ones work best. And if stuff works well for you, continue doing it. And when you can, add on a second piece while you're continuing to do the first piece that works well. Okay? So, how long have I been talking here? Holy mackerel. There's an hour. I think I'll pack it in. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe here on YouTube and go to trainingsites.io and in fact, take some time and do just that. Join the community, get involved, build out a profile, ask some questions, take some of the free courses and have some fun with it. So my name's James. Hope you enjoyed today's session. I'll put as much as I can in the description below. All of this information, of course, is going to be in the trainingsites.io course. So go register, have some fun. Hope to see you there in the future and take care. Expect the best.